Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It is Angela, the Traveling Crafter. I am so glad that you are here with me today. We're going to have a little fun experimenting. So I hope you'll join along. I will tell you everything that you need, but let me tell you what we're going to do first. So I don't know about you, but I will ask you the question. Please answer in the comments. Do you ever find something, especially, I would say especially when you go to like a handmade and vintage fair and you see something and you're like, well, I can make that. Well, sure, I do that too all the time. And I'm like, but when am I going to have time to do it? You're better off just buying the thing, right? Well, this is kind of the same thing, but we're going to actually make it. So recently I bought a couple from estates, couple craft room estates and items. And in one of them were these 3 fresh tags and fresh stickers by Rebecca Sauer Designs, EK Success. I have no idea how old these are, but I'd say probably fairly old. Anyway, I thought they were really cute, and here's why in particular. See, I still haven't opened them up, but I loved the idea of this little wire here. That was what sparked my interest. I also loved how they used the wire on this heart and on this little, well, maybe it's not on the heart. Maybe the heart's attached to this. I don't know, but I thought it was cute. And then this random one where they use the wire around the little stick. We're not going to make this one today because we're kind of going with the Valentine's vibes. So I just got out all my tools and I just started experimenting. So is it going to be like this? Probably not, but we're going to have fun doing it anyway. So before we get to it, let me tell you what supplies you need. And man, do I have a lot out. And this is just for my little templates. I'll show you my templates in just a minute. Most importantly, for this project, you'll either need a round and or this one is a Sharpie. This is a big boy chisel tip. So it's a little more flat, if you will. It's not totally round, but a round Sharpie. Let's see, we can grab one of these. One of these would work too. There we go. Those are important, and I'll explain in a moment. I've got some little embellishments. I've got some buttons, some keys. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. A little book plate. I've got a vintage little heart charm. Maybe that's not vintage, but you know, I got some brads that I could use in that. So I have those items. I also, these are also going to be important, some of your jewelry tools, pliers and snips. So I have round nose pliers, flat nose pliers, and snips. We're going to use those. I also have my itty bitty baby hole punch and my regular punch. There they are. I have scissors. I have glue. I have this handy dandy little itty baby Creative Memories trimmer, guillotine trimmer. I have wire. That's what we're going to be concentrating on, although all the other things will be fabulous too. We have twine. I've got ribbons of all sorts. I did pull out my hole reinforcers, and at some point I decided to get this little oldie but a goodie out, and I made some things with that, so we're going to get that out as well. I've got more eyelets if we need them. I also have more brads if we need them. So we got all of that. Oh, and a whole stack full of the papers that we're going to use. So they range from, some of these were left over from the last project. So we've got some of these papers. We've got craft card. I've got tiny little pieces. This was from a project that was just like the wipe off of one we did. I've got some tags already made. I've got some square pieces of paper. Doesn't matter what size. Some are 6x6, some are 4x4, 3x3. Then I've got some extra ones just to mix it up a bit in case we don't want to use the pokey dots. Some other little things we can use as tags. I even grabbed out these little pieces that I had that were from a paper pad. And then just some random little book page. And this is one of my this one of mine? I don't know. It's a digital. And some ledger and such. So we got lots of little paper products. I'm going to put those way up there because I don't know if we need them. Now here's what we're going to aspire to, so to speak, but probably not in the same way. Okay, so the first one I made is this one. So I just used the wire on here. Now this was just, I totally had to experiment. Then I decided I couldn't have done this twice. It accidentally turned like into kind of a heart. So I did that and put a little bow on there. So we've got this tag. Pretty simple. Then I did some cute little envelopes. This is where I used the crimper. This little heart tag in here, which kind of aspires to the sample. Another little baby tag with this little one, and then I just glued them on together. Another crimped envelope with, this is ledger, and I just backed it on cardstock to make it a little tag. And then another little tag with more little wire on it. And this one, actually, I mean, it's glued down, but I left it loose there. This was a little brad. I don't know what. It was more like, yeah, kind of like a brad. And a little wingy dingy of metal as well. That's what we're going to do. Here I have some extra things that I made before. And the one thing I'm going to show you right off the bat is how I crimped these and how I found out it was easier to do. So we're going to use these two to do that. And then in here, I think I have some hearts that I just made by hand. I'll show you how I made mine. These were not a template. They weren't die cuts. I just cut them out freehand. So they've got a whole bunch of hearts. And then this was just a random piece that I had lying around as well. Boom. All right, let me start by, I'll show you how to make these two. We've made these many times, but I'll show you how I found that it was much easier to make the envelope and then crimpy dimpy. So I just put it in there. Well, that one's a little crooked. That's okay. I don't mind. And look how nice that comes out. Whereas if you do it before, it's just a little harder to manipulate the actual, let's try it this way and see if I can get it straighter. Put it in. Then you hold down on this. This thing has been around. Oh, there's a little heart in there. Oh, well, it's going to get crimped. This thing has been around since the beginning of my crafting days. And I did bust it out for dusted off do-overs, and I have used it since, so that's good. A reminder, you know, it's kind of like use it or lose it kind of thing. So there you go. That was the easier way to make these little envelopes. All right, so we've got those made. Let's knock that out of the park, and what will take the longest is trying to get this metal on here because I am no pro, let me just say. But let's take a couple of pieces of, let me find a square one. Here's one. This one's square. We can make that a, we'll just make 3 different sizes. How about that? There we go. All right. So let's start with the biggest one so you can see it. Let me make sure you're in frame. Yes, you are. And all I'm going to do is come together and hopefully, these are fairly square. And this craft card is just a little bit harder to work with sometimes. And I'm just going to bring them to the center and just maybe 1/8 of an inch cross it over the top of that so I can tack a little piece of glue on. I'm going to finger press it down on either side just to hold it because it is craft card, so it's heavy. And I'm going to use just, you could use a bone folder, but this is handy. Why get out an extra tool if your scissors work, right? And I'm just going to make that little pocket. That's it. We've made these before. I will, whoa, I got aggressive with that. Hang out my glue. I am using Fabri-Tac today, I think, for everything. Unless I do something different, but we can play that by ear. That was just a little tiny bit of glue. I am going to hold that down for just a second. Just so it doesn't wiggly about. Now, I am going to look here and see. I think that's pretty, that looks pretty envelope-ish. Ooh, that did not stay. Oh, well. It will in a minute. Trust me. And then I'm just going to pull this up, and I'm going to tuck it down right to the tip of that envelope tuck. Now, if you have really heavy cardstock, I think on one of these I did this, you could cut away this little piece right here just so it lays a little bit nicer. Is it necessary? Probably not, but we'll do it just so you can see how ooh, I might have done it a little too much. Whoops. And then this one. There we go. That just takes a little of the bulk out, but it isn't a necessary step. And then I'm just going to make sure that I have glue on here and here. And I'm going to hold it for a second just because that craft card doesn't really stay flat because it's heavy. It's heavy. All right, and then I'm just going to hold it down for a second. If you didn't want to hold it, you could just use, clippies or paper clips or whatever you got. Okay, I think that one's going to be okay. Let's make this itty-bitty one. I like these with the double-sided cardstock. Again, all you're going to do, take it and turn it 90 degrees. And I'm just going to fold them in again. Now, I am making sure that what will be my top is relatively even so it looks like an envelope. Otherwise, they can get a little wonky. I'm pretty sure I have a wonky one somewhere. That one's a little bit wonky. Maybe it was this one. No. I don't know. I thought I had one that wasn't quite perfect. Which, wonky little envelopes are just as cute as non-wonky envelopes. And this one I'm not going to cut because I think it's a little bit thinner. Here we go. Hold that down for a second, and then I'm just going to use my fingernails, get underneath it, and fold it up. Bada bing, bada boom. I should have probably did a little distressing on this just to make it kind of pop since it is double-sided. But, there we go. Good enough. I'm not going to do the inside of it. And there we go. So now we've just busted out a couple pockets in no time flat. Hardest part is actually holding it and being patient enough to let it kind of stick and dry. Let's just do one more just for the heck of it. And you could go as small as you want. I did mine a little bit bigger for you guys so that you'd be able to see. But, I did a tiny one you saw in the sample. And it's cuter than a bug's ear. Has anybody ever seen a bug's ear? I haven't either. Oh, see that one? This one, if you look in the bottom, it is a little wonky. That's okay. Because we're bringing that up to the center. But the top is pretty much good to go. And you could just make these little envelopes all day long. You could use your 6x6 paper, your 8x8. Heck, you could use 12x12 paper if you wanted. Important part is, it's a square. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh, I didn't glue it. I will say, I did get a lot of equipment out for this little project, but it is pretty fun. And then if we want, we can crimp it. Did any of you guys ever crimp your hair when you were younger? All my 80s girls out there. I sure did. Now, just a little aside, if you want to know. Let me get a piece of scrap. Oh, I did something to my neck. Man, does it hurt. I thought I was getting sick because I was really having a lot of, like I was achy, really achy a few days ago. And I was like, ugh, I better not be getting sick. Dave was sick a while ago, and I thought, darn him, he's coughing all over the place. But then the next day, and then today, I think I just gotta, I don't know, it just hurts. So I don't think it's sickness. I think it's just, I slept wrong on it or something, and it's just taking its time. So every time I move, I'm like, ugh, that hurt. All right, so those are done. Now, before we get into making some tags, let me show you how I did these hearts. This was from the example too. Which one was that? This one. I thought it was cute. Mine didn't turn out very good, but I liked that look. A little added to it. And all I did to make these, maybe we shall use, let's use a piece of this. And I'm going to cut it so that if we wanted, because I think this is single, yeah, it's one-sided. Let's just maybe make this, so we could use this as a tag if we wanted. All right. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have picked a stripe to show you. Maybe I should have done a solid. Let me grab one of these. Yeah, this is fine. First, anyway. I'll do one with this stripe, but and all I did was I kind of just took my scissors and freeformed just a fun, funky, kind of wonkety heart. And there we go. Now we add a little bada bing, bada boom to it. And we have a cute little heart to use. All right, let's, we could, if I did this differently, I could use it for something else. I'm not going to. Into the garbage it goes. Let's do a bigger one. Ooh, this is hard on the eyes, man. Let's do one that's just a regular point. So I just started at the bottom, basically, on this one. And I'm just turning my paper. I'm kind of letting the paper do the work. And turning it back up. And turning it. So I'm creating by moving this hand. The scissors are staying steady, if that makes sense. Now, you guys probably know and remember from when we were kiddos that you can also basically take your paper like this. And then you can just go, right? You all remember how to do that. And there you go. But I think it's cuter when I like the bigger dent, so you can just fix that by making it. I call it a dent, a dip, a divot. I don't know. There we go. That's a little cuter. But you could do it that way too. No rules. Do it however you wish. But we have plenty of those, so we don't need to make a bunch of them. All right. So we're setting those aside. You know how to do all of the other basics. Now let's do something with this wire. So what we are aspiring to is to make something similar to this and to this. Now, in the inspo piece, what they have done is they use this strip, they wrap the wire around it, they poked holes into this, and then wound the wire through. Now, I did it on this. Was it easy? Not really. So, I did improvise on one of these. So, I'll show you how to do both. So let's just get our base. Let's maybe make one a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go ahead, turn this into a tag shape. And I'm making it bigger so that it's easier for you guys to see, because I made little itty bitty ones. But why not add to the family by making some big ones? And I do have a zipper bag, and it is one that is full of what I call matched sets. So if I have a whole bunch of things I made with like one paper pad or one design of my digitals, then I keep them together. So Let's see. Let's go ahead and punch our hole in it, and just that way we know where it's at. We can even stick, I'm going to go ahead and stick a hole reinforcer. These are stickers, so I'm just going to put it right over the top. Now we know kind of where everything is. So the next thing we want to do is find something that we can use on this top piece and then the dangly down piece. So I'm feeling like this would be cute. All right, let's just do that and make it a little bit smaller. How much smaller? Well, let's just go to maybe the edge of this. So let's see if I can. And make sure it's straight. With a guillotine cutter, you have to make sure that this is all the way up. Otherwise, it will kind of make things a little, I'm exaggerating when I just did that, but it makes it a little bit wonky. So just consider that. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to try this the way that I see it on the inspo piece, but I will tell you it was not the easiest to do. Okay, so that's going to sit right there. It was easier to just wrap it around a piece and be done with it. I don't really think the orange is going to do it for us. However, what does this look like? I guess I could just use here. I could just use this. Let's zhuzh it a little bit with some ink. Oh, I should probably decide where this needs to go. All right, so I'm going to pull this down as far down kind of as I can because this is a little thicker. I don't want to have to cut it if I don't need to. And we're going to go right. Let me get my handy dandy vintage pencil out. I really love that pencil. Yep, it's the little things. I'm easily amused. There we go. All right, now it's cut. Now we can zhuzh. And this is going to be pretty basic, like, you know, it's a piece of craft card. So that metal is going to, or the wire is going to really make it kind of pop. All right, that's good enough. Put that a little handier. Get all my stuff out of the way. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is just kind of shore this up. And I want it to be about right here. And I want to have a little bit of space between the two. So what I didn't do in my sample is actually line it up. But I have my handy dandy centering ruler. So we're going to move all the, what's that called? No. I can't even say it. Let's move these aside. You guys can go away. You need to be the star of the show for the moment, Missy. Okay. There we go. That's probably good. Probably pretty straight. It won't be once I put this on there. I'm sure of it. So to use my centering ruler, there goes my pillow. I want to make sure. There we go. So what I do is just make sure this edge and this edge are at the same spot. So here's my 1 inch, and I just want to make sure that, is that in the center? Hang on, I just messed that up. There we go. I was like, wait a minute. It doesn't feel right. There we go. You got to use this little circle with the lines on it. Otherwise, it doesn't really work. I feel like I need to use something more substantial than my pencil. So I'm going to hold this down when I do this. Ooh, that bleeds a little bit. Oh, dang it. I didn't want that there exactly. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. So maybe we do. one more right. That's pretty close to the edge. We're going to do it. It's a lot of little holes that we're going to be punching. Now, remember, we're experimenting. This is not necessarily it's more of a process video. Let's not say this is a tutorial necessarily, because I could have it all jacked up, but I'm going to try it. So now I'm just going to use my little baby punch here, and I am going to punch. Ooh, it's hard to see. There we go. Gotta get that out of there. Ooh. Please work. There we go. And I'm just literally putting this over those little holes. Find the lavender and punch. And I'm punching it a second time to get the little piece that I punched out, just in case it didn't come out. I think most of the time it does, but in case the paper gets stuck in there, does that make sense? Come on, where are you? I know it's hard for you to see this part. It's hard for me to see this part, but there it is. Okay, now these are pretty even with how I punched them. So now the only one I need to worry about, which I'm going to do first, is... No, I'm going to do this one first. Because I want it to be... I might have a little bit of this purple still on there. Dang it, it's still low. Well, we're doing our best, friends. It's not perfect. But I would say, using the centering ruler works way better. Now, I could turn it over so now we can't see where I put those dots. Let's do that. Always a solution to the challenges that we face when it comes to paper crafting. Okay. So now I want to wire these two together. I think for this one, I don't know how this is going to work, because this gauge wire, I don't know what gauge wire it is, much thicker than, say, you can kind of tell just by me holding it. See how much more flimsy this is? Maybe I better not use this on the first experiment. So what you can do is just kind of weave these through here. And this was not easy. I had to I had to do it. Then I had to use my jewelry tools to kind of make it better. But just put them together like this. And then dag nab it. Hang on, I need to get up. One thing you might need is some kind of clip to hold this wire on, because you want it to come up. What I found, I don't know that this is the right way, but it just worked easier for me, is if I had the bulk of the wire always at the top, because otherwise it kind of gets stuck in there, and it's much more difficult. So then I'm using my left hand. I know that's probably not ideal for some of you, but it works for me in this situation. Okay, now I'm just going to gently pull it, because remember, I have to flip this up. So that's where it becomes a little, come on, tricky. And then I'm just going to pull it up. Make sure it kind of goes here. Come on, not in it. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? And then let's not worry about it too much at the moment. I feel like I missed a hole, but I don't think I did. pull it just like you're sewing. Come on. Please tell me you're in frame. There we go. All right. Now, hang on, Sloopy. I'm going to put this together, hold this together to this piece of paper right now while I try to flip it up. See, and like I said, it's not the easiest to do. But this gauge wire that's very, very thin works really the best. And is it necessarily exactly even? No. But it will work. Okay, so now what I want to do with this piece right here is I'm just going to flip it for right now so it doesn't come out of there. And now I'm just going to kind of manipulate this. And that's why it's nice to have this extra little piece on there. Until you get it where you kind of want it. And let's just crimp that one too so it doesn't fall out. And I kind of like where that's at. Now, remember, you're going to want this in your, in a journal or in, you know, a scrapbook or whatever. So you don't want it to be sitting up like that. So you can just simply go like this and push them to the side. Do they have to be perfect? No, but you get the gist. Just kind of makes the fun part of it. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to just take, I don't know what I'm going to create with it, but I am going to cut off quite a bit of this piece here. And maybe we'll need that for something else. And I'm just going to make something out of this end. Maybe I just make a little flowery thing just so it stays. And I maybe want it to be right up there like that. Come on, make a... But don't overthink it, Angela. Okay, now let's do the same for this one. And I'm going to hold this upside down because I do not want that to pop out. And I also feel like I want this to scoop up. So it'll be easier if I do it this way. And I know it's hard for you guys to see. I don't have a plan for this. So I'm just going to kind of play around with it. There, that's good. Not really any particular design. It's just, I'm just making things up. Now, do you see how I goof that up and they're not even? Like when I put the... I didn't get this over far enough is what I'm trying to say. It's even when I had it, when I was putting them together, but because of the wire, it's pushing it over this way. So I think for this, I want to kind of, and I'm going to do this with my scissors. I know it's scary, isn't it? And I'm going to go right... I just made a little notch in it. And I'm going to move that back. I'm going to find where that notch is and just clip it off. So it's a little more even. I'm just going to push that back down. And now we can put it on our page. We got a little dangly. Can you guys imagine the things, all the things we could do with this? I mean, come on. It could be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get it glued on. And we'll want to make sure that we give this a pretty generous amount of glue around that wire. And oh, do I want to let it dangle? I think I do. Let me wipe that off. I mean, why not? Although somebody might go trying to flip it up and then it won't, it's not meant to flip, but I like the idea of that better. Okay, so now, and this is kind of hard for me to do when I'm at this angle, but hopefully I got it fairly close to good. So everything there is down. And then if you wanted to embellish more of it, I also think it would be cute, let's see if I can find a couple little brads, which if I was thinking, I would have put the brads in before I glued this down. I think I can still save it. Let's see. Let's just pull this up for a second. We're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. And let's see what I've got. If I have some bluish. Oh, here's some. Let's use these. They're little, they're blue, and they're glittery. There we go. All right. Now, let's just pull this back up for a minute. Another thing you might need, besides your hole punch, is maybe your awl. Give it your all. All right, I am going to have to glue, you know, again, right? Let's just put this one in there. I bashed my finger, my thumb, on the counter. I was throwing something away upstairs. And I just hit the edge of the counter. Boom, busted my nail. Which, I need to have my nails done because they're way too long, but I hate going to get my nails done. I usually do them myself, but why did I get them done? Oh, we were going on vacation. And so I thought, I'll treat myself. Well, you know, now I either need to get them fixed or have them taken off and do it myself again. There we go. Problemo solved, sort of. There we go. Done. Now I can put this back down. Reglue. Let's see, that's already dry there. I'm just making sure that I get plenty of glue. There. It's a little overkill. I know. All right. Right there. Done. Wasn't that easy? Now, let me show you. I told you that those markers were going to be very important. So the other way that you could do this, so you see that I did it, this is like this one, and like this sample. But I also like the idea of wrapping this all the way around a piece of paper. So we're going to try that one too. Now, before we do that, there's that one all the way around it. And then there's nothing in there. Let's put something on the top of this. I kind of like the idea of this because there's some black. This is like a grayish seam binding. So let's just put this in there. Ooh. Well, that hole is pretty tiny. It's okay. There we go. And I'm just going to tie it like such. I'm not going to make a bow. I'm just going to make a knot. Simple, simple, simple. I don't know. I just think this is something, this is a, what do I want to say? Not a tool, but a supply that I have that I don't necessarily use enough, except when I'm working with jewelry. So I think finding ways to use things like wire that, you know, otherwise might just get kind of forgotten is a great thing. And I have lots of wire. I have a whole, one of these this is all full of wire. So, and I wonder if it says what gauge, if I have anywhere that it says what this gauge is. It doesn't. Darn it. Maybe this one does. Nope. Oh, here. Let's see. Is this one 24 gauge wire? So it's really light is what I'm using. This is probably like 18 gauge. I think the higher is the, I don't know. I better not even tell you because I don't want to confuse you. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make something like this. And I'll just show you what I did with these. Let's find a piece of scrap. Let's use this. And let's make it, I don't know. We're just going to cut a piece. Maybe an inch. I'll probably do it to make sure it's even here, friends. There we go. There we go. We got an inch strip. Now, the problem is I'm doing this particular one before I've picked my tag, so we'll have to make the tag to the... And you see how I'm just wrapping that around? And of course this one's probably too long, but... And just kind of pull it to where you want it. Across there. And then you can press it down. And if you want it, this one is, I don't think it's going to need, what do you call them? Brads. Let's give that a little loop-de-loo, and maybe this one a little loop-de-la. There you go. And you've just added some wire to it. But how did I get this shape and then make it? So what I did, let's just use this silver piece. Well, no, let's just use this gold piece that's lying here. I'm going to move the rest of this wire. I may use these little scraps in a minute. We'll see. Here's how I did that. I just took my marker and I used my finger to hold it. And I just looped it. So I could make, and you can make them as tight as you want, right? So that's 4 loops. And then it's ready to go. And then you can just put your piece of paper just like I just did and make it. That's how easy it was. So let's use this one onto something pretty. You know what? Let's try it with this. And let's just maybe not do anything except here. Let's do it on this end because that's kind of, this is cuter down here. Let's take our, this little baby piece of wire that's left over. I'm going to move this because I don't think we need the centering ruler anymore. And let's just maybe try to make this into, I don't know, maybe we can make it into a heart. I have no idea how I did that last one. It just turned into a heart. By accident. I was not planning it. I think we can probably do something similar. And I like the idea of one side being bigger than the other. And then maybe, can I turn this? I could definitely, okay, I know you guys can't see this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take my nasty broken fingernail, and I'm going to try push this piece down to get it out of the way, maybe. And then let's just try to twist these two around each other a little bit, just to give it a little more interest. I don't know. Is it working? Yeah, that worked. Okay, now, let's see. I'm just going to try to manipulate this maybe with my fingers. And there we go. That's not too shabby. So we got those. Let's make another one. We got things now. We can, another way that you can use your wire. What, did I do anything else that was cutie patootie on here? No, not really. Just that heart that, this one was a long piece, so when I got to the bottom of the wire, I just wrapped it around and loop-de-looed it. Let's see if I can do something. The one that I made was a total mistake. I was like, oh, that looks cool. I was trying to make a really little one. So, see what I'm saying? This isn't really a tutorial. This is a, let's just experiment with Angela kind of morning. Or afternoon, depending on when you're, or middle of the night if that's when you're watching it. And let's just, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take, well, I guess it doesn't matter. I was going to tuck this piece into there. You know, it's just, I don't know. We'll just see. Come on. Well, that's not working so well. I might not like this one. I might just clip it off when it's done. We'll see what it looks like. Yeah, that looks silly. We're just going to clip it right off and it'll be a little heart. Oh, not with that though. That won't work. So lots of things. I mean, I could do this probably all day long and come up with, you know, 10 more different ways that we could play with this wire. But today, I won't bore you with me experimenting for hours on end. I'll just show you what I already experimented with. There we go. And I just crimped that. No, I didn't. I thought I did. This is when I need that magnifying light in here, or magnifier. Well, it's still cute. There you go. I love hearts, so there we go. That's where we're going with. That's the story. Okay, on this one, let's get some brads and put them on the edge. Or perhaps, do I have two buttons that match? Nope. They're all different. Okay, we'll use brads. And I think we need some bigger ones. So let's pick a couple of these out. And then we'll make a little something cute down at the bottom. Because I got all these pretties out. What do I have? Do I have anything that are... I guess we could just use gold. Well, those are big. Well, that's okay. We have a solution. There's a smaller one. The legs are long. That's what I was meaning. There we go. Those are smaller. We'll just make these simple. All right, let's get that. And I'm just eyeballing it. And with this one, I'm going to poke it a little bit wider, kind of. What I did, so you can see. I put it in here, and then I kind of twisted my hand so it made that hole just a little bit bigger to get both of those, because the legs are kind of fat on this one. Chunky monkey. Okay, there we go. And then I just want to make sure I turn it. So that it's not going to show, and it doesn't. I could use a hammer and hammer it down. That would be cute for a hammered effect. But we're just going to go basic this time. Oops, I didn't. There we go. And did. Easy enough. All right. Now let's put this down here. And then let's see what we can do to zhuzh it up a little bit. Oh, the one thing I didn't do, I know what we can do. I didn't use any of the hearts. I didn't use the grommets or eyelets, whatever you wish to call them, like I did on that heart, but that's okay. All right, let's put this at the top, and let's leave a little bit of room. So if I wanted to put like a sentiment, or I could, I could slide a sentiment in. That glue is in between here too. In the future, I don't have any sentiments out here, do I? Do I? Not handy. Okay, let's see. We've got this. We could use, that is not, I need to hold it. This heart might be a little too big. This one might work. What else do I have? I kind of like the idea of using these as tags. Like in the pockets. Let's put a eyelet in this one. So I told you I had my eyelets, and I did not grab my eyelet setter, which is just right here. It's just my crocodile, and I'm pushing those down just a little bit more. A little more pressure. Got gold ones right here. This may be a little, oh, do I? Or are these all colored? These are all colored. Well, hopefully I have a gold one. Ruh-roh, George. We don't have any gold. Really? I know for a fact I have gold eyelets. Yeah, eyelets. See? Gold right there. Now I got to get them all out. Hang on. Let's just avert any spillage by putting these in here, and then I'll find that. This might be loud. There we go. Come to mama. I'm going to grab a couple of those out so at least I have them. That should be good. Two's good. I'll put those away in a minute. All right, there we go. So now all we need to do is punch the hole with my crocodile. I'm going to go with the big hole because I don't know what size those are, truly. We're just going to go right in the middle. Hopefully this will work. With these kind of things, I know, I mean, I do have like a lot of my eyelets and my brads all organized by color in these little tiny bin things, but the ones, there's something I like about just scrounging through all of them. You know what I mean? Kind of makes me happy. It's a little bit of like white that was showing on there. I don't know. Must have a white core in it. All right. Now we can do that. I had an idea. What was it? There was something else I wanted with this. Oh, I was thinking about maybe using that little heart somehow. But let's do this up a little bit. Just to make it kind of stand out a little more against that. This is just a manila file folder. There we go. Let's glue this down. So yeah, I would love to hear in the comments. As you know, I have started on, maybe a video a month. I'll do a little recap of comments that you guys have made or questions that you've had. Whoa. That didn't end up well. So please ask questions, give me your ideas, tell me your thoughts on what else could we do with this fun wire, because there's lots and lots of things that we could be doing. I thought about maybe this little heart here somewhere. Goodness. Somewhere. And then what if we put this tiny little heart? We could dangle it. Nah. Here we're going to do. We're going to just glue this down. I could have dangled it through that little thing, but I'm not going to. right, let's put this down. We could dangle this from there. Let's do that. The bulb pin. And then we'll use something else. Oh, hold the phone. Idea. Let's dangle both of those from there. Oh my gosh. See what I'm saying? Possibilities are endless. Let's see, we're going to use all gold. Gold. And gold. Okay, I didn't tell you that we needed bulb pins, but guess what? We need bulb pins. Okay. Let's put this through there. I wonder if we can dangle it, like, off of this one. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. Cute. Okay, and let's dangle this heart. Oh, we're just full of hearts. Happy early Valentine's Day. Right there. Oh, I love it. Now, is it practical to actually write on? No, but it's certainly darn cute. And then we could put this here. And perhaps we can get a button. Let's see. Let's just get those buttons on there. I think that'd be okay. Oh, here, let's use this glittery button. And then we'll decide if we want to put that on there or not. Let's kind of think there for a minute. Boom. Oh, I really like those little items dangled off there. Now, I don't know about this, but we're going to do it anyway. It may not stay on there. And then again, maybe it will. I'm going to put a little dab right underneath here. And then I'm going to leave it alone. Either way, it's pretty stinking cute. All right, we've been going for a long time, but there you go. Darling, huh? All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that little project of experimentation. I know we're about at an hour, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give it a try. Please leave your comments. I would love to hear from you, and tell me what you came up with as we were visiting and trying to replicate some of these. We will see you next time, friends. Until then, remember to take time to just be. Cheers.